So, good afternoon or good morning, whenever you're watching this. I am Dana Williamson with B.A.D, Blessed and Anointed Destined LLC, the original B.A.D Queen of the Round Table. I'm excited to be with you guys today because I've decided to do a segment, and we'll see how long this lasts. I've decided to do a segment since I'm always in my car, and this particular segment is going to basically, we're going to talk about a bunch of things. But because I'm always in my car, I needed to title the segment something. And that was hard. I'm literally going to tell you that trying to find a title was hard because I have a friend who, or a colleague in the business who, she called her sessions like this Seatbelt Chronicles. I don't want to take that from her because that was her thing. But I do want to call this something. And because I am Dana Williamson with B.A.D, Blessed and Anointed Destined LLC, the original B.A.D Queen of the Round Table, and my group, my tribe on social media is called the Royal Court. We're going to call this the Issues of State. And I'm taking into consideration that kings and queens had meetings that either with the people close to them or the people who just had an insight, their comrades, their colleagues, their counselors, all of that. And they talked about the issues of state. Now, what is state to us as entrepreneurs and business owners? Just that. The issues going on around us, the changes, the insights, the ups, the downs, the heartaches, the pains, the work, all the things that we have to do, right? And all the things that we know to do, and all the things that we want to do. I saw them speeding up, and I was like, what are they doing? We have to slow down. There's cars here. So I'm just looking. Nonetheless, issues of state. Really, these segments are going to be about, what the problems are, what are the things that arise. So I'll be taking questions either on my podcast or in my group or whatever, and, really finding out what some of the issues are. Here's the main issue I want to kind of build a platform for this, want to build this on, especially for a lot of my clients or my potential clients. What I do is I'm a business and lifestyle counselor for women of faith who find themselves at a fork in the road in their businesses, who don't know how to get past this clutch, this part that is keeping them from growing. And I'm the one that comes in and finds out what the problem is at the bottom, at that foundation. What is the problem? What is the issue? I'm the one that comes in and I do that, and I figure it out, and I help them to get past that part. And so when I look at that for my clients, I'm looking at I'm looking at all the things that they're saying to me, all the things they're trying to do, and okay, let's develop a plan on how to get forward. Let me tell you something. Women of faith, they're just faith. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. Just hear me out. Women of faith find themselves just being faithful when it's time for church service, when it's time for the conferences and, the prophetic occurrences and all those different things. That's where women of faith find themselves. But when it's time for them to look at their businesses, they look at whatever is going on around the rest of the world. And they look at whatever is going up, down, round, and round. And that's not good, because if God gave you something to do, he called you to this particular business, he put the gifts in your hands for this particular business, then you have to first go to him and hear what he has to say. And it may be real peculiar to what's going on around the world with the rest of the people. It could be very, very different than whatever is going on. And so my issue of state here is that people of faith, because there might be some men that step in on this as well, but people of faith who are building their businesses because they know that God has given it to them cannot step off into what is common with the rest of the world. Because when we do that, then we start taking on the issues of the rest of the world, and then our businesses start to look like either failures or non-existent because we're doing the things according to the rest of the world. God never said for us to be Fortune 500 millionaires, but we can be. God never said that in order to write the book, you had to, when you write the book, when you finish the book, that it's going to be a bestseller, but it can be. What it comes down to is, what is the first thing that we know as saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost individuals? We know, one, and when God calls us, say yes. Be obedient to the call. It's just that simple. Then once you're obedient to the call and you start moving in the processes and the instructions that God has given you, he will give you more processes and instructions. And then that keeps you moving forward, and that keeps you pushing along. What happens, how we get into the fork of the road of our businesses, and we start realizing that, wait a minute, I fell off a little bit, is when we start looking around. Remember Peter? He started to drown, or he started to, kind of sink into the water. Because what? Because he started looking around instead of keeping his eyes on Jesus. And so for me, as a business and lifestyle counselor, I come in and help you put your eyes back on Jesus. So that's the first issue of state. Let's talk again later. I'm Dana Williamson.